yes, digestion. Physical and chemical digestion begins in the mouth, chewing for physical and saliva for chemical. The presence of food in the oral cavity triggers the salivary glands to deliver saliva through ducts in the oral cavity. The saliva could even occur before food's in the mouth, in anticipation because of learned associations. The saliva lubricates the food for easier swallowing, protects the lining of the mouth from abrasions, prevents tooth decay by neutralizing acid in the mouth, and contains salivary amylase. Salivary amylase is an enzyme that hydrolyzes starch products and produces smaller polysaccharides and disaccharide maltose. Well, anyways, the tongue tastes the food, manipulates it during chewing, and helps shape the food into a ball called a bolus. The tongue then pushes the bolus to the back of the oral cavity and into the pharynx. The throat region is called the pharynx, and here's the space that opens to both the esophagus and to the windpipe, also known as the trachea. When swallowing, the epiglottis blocks the opening of the windpipe and guides the bolus safely down the esophagus. The esophagus moves the food safely from the pharynx to the stomach by peristalsis. Peristalsis is just waves of muscle contractions that move the bolus to the stomach. Now, the stomach can stretch to about 2 liters worth of food and fluid, so we don't have to constantly eat. It secretes gastric juices by the churning movements of the stomach wall. The gastric juice has a pH of about 2, which is very acidic. This is because it has a high concentration of hydrochloric acid. This acid breaks down meat and plant material while killing most bacteria that were swallowed by the bolus. Also in the gastric juice is pepsin, which is an enzyme that starts the hydrolysis of proteins. It's one of the few enzymes that work best in the acidic environments like the stomach. Pepsinogen is the inactive form of pepsin, and it's secreted from chief cells in gastric pits. Another thing that's secreted is hydrochloric acid, which is secreted from arterial cells. The acid activates pepsinogen into pepsin, but it can only do so in the lumen. This is an example of positive feedback because as the pepsinogen is turned into pepsin by the acid, the pepsin can turn more pepsinogen into pepsin. This is one way the stomach defends itself against self-digestion. The other way is the coating of mucus secreted by epithelial cells of the stomach lining. The recently swallowed food becomes a nutrient-rich broth, also known as acid chyme. Which flows from the stomach to the small intestines from the opening called the pleuric sphincter. About the first 25 centimeters of the small intestine is called the duodenum. It's here that the acid chyme from the stomach mixes with the digestive juices from the pancreas, liver, gallbladder, and gland cells of the intestinal wall. The pancreas produces enzymes, hydrolysis enzymes, which are in an alkaline solution rich in bicarbonate. The bicarbonate acts as a buffer offsetting the acidity of the chyme from the stomach. Then, the pancreatic enzymes that are protein digestive enzymes, called protease, are secreted into the duodenum in inactive form. In a similar reaction as in the stomach, the pancreatic enzymes wait until they're safely inside the duodenum before they activate. The liver produces bile, which is stored in the gallbladder when not in use. Bile contains bile salts that act to help in digestion and the absorption of fat. Most nutrients in the body are absorbed in the small intestine through large circular folds called villi. Inside the villi are smaller appendages called microvilli. This surface of microvilli greatly increases the nutrient absorption rate. The hepatic portal are where the capillaries and the veins that take the nutrient-filled blood converge, and then they follow into the liver, which then flows into the heart, which pumps blood everywhere throughout the entire body. These are the villi and microvilli. Villi, cerebrals there, microvilli that do the absorption, and these are the veins that flow up into the larger ones. Now that the nutrient is absorbed, the material flows from the small intestines all the way to the large intestines through a sphincter, which controls the movement of the material around here. The large intestine, also known as the colon, absorbs the remaining water in the material. The material, the waste, is feces and has now become more compact as it moves through the colon by peristalsis. Feces contains lots of bacteria, along with other undigested materials. The bacteria often comes from the bacterial flora found in the colon, many of which generate gas. Though some bacteria produces vitamins, which are absorbed into the blood. Well, the feces is stored in the rectum until it can be eliminated by defecation, which is, defecation. And that's the digestive system. Bye.